come in, please. We'll start today's session. Hey everyone, welcome back to our pre-season training session. This is the first one of the new season, so I hope you guys are all refreshed and ready to come back and enjoy a new season with us. Obviously you're here for football or soccer. It's football here, but obviously some of you may refer to it as soccer. And I know some of you are returning from last season, so obviously welcome back. And then we've got some new guys here that are on trial with us. So these sessions, it matters to all of you, but obviously I'll be watching the trial list a little bit more closely today to see if there's anyone who we're going to pick out and bring into the team for the next upcoming season. So you're going to all get to know each other throughout today's session. If the older guys who have been here a while can make a real effort to welcome the new guys in and the trial list to make them feel at home, because obviously we get the best performance out of them, and we are a really generally friendly club anyway, so I hope everyone here will feel comfortable to play at their best and communicate effectively with everyone, because that'll really help everyone here. So we're going to go forward with the aims of this season before we get into anything else of the session. So we're off the back of a solid season last season. For those who were here, we finished just below the playoffs, so we put a really nice run together at the end of last season of results of a few draws, a few wins that really helped us boost up the leagues a little bit at the end. So hopefully for this year we're going to be aiming to better that and push off either into the playoffs or into the automatic promotion places, because obviously the automatic promotion places mean less games for us, but the playoff means we get a nice day out at Wembley if we get to the final, and there's nothing better than winning a trophy at Wembley to get yourself promoted. But hopefully we can do it within the regular season to save us the time of actually having to play those 2 extra games of the semi-finals, and then it's a two-legged, not two-legged, it's a 2-game system, so it's a semi-final then a final. If you reach the final, then you've got to win the final to get promoted, as you all know. So the aim for this season's are, in the league standing wise, is we want to finish in those promotion places. Ideally automatic promotion, because I think we are a good enough squad, especially with the new people we've got around today, to push for those places. And we're really going to add some strong depth into the squad to help us really boost the squad's depth and just our ability to perform, and also allow everyone else to have a little bit of a rest when they need it. Because last year we had little ebbs and flows due to people obviously having to play more games than necessarily needed, or more minutes, and we couldn't rest as many people when they needed it because we didn't have a big enough squad, and that was due to injuries and things like that. So hopefully we're going to have a bit of squad depth and a bit more competition for places, because that always makes everyone play a little bit better when they're not so secure in their place and they know that there's someone waiting to take it. So the trialists will hopefully become permanent players, and we'll be able to sign them on a contract, and then they'll obviously push other people for places and just push us to that other level. So that's the aim of the season for the league. Obviously we're in a couple of cups. The League Cup itself is one that we'll be after. So ideally we're going to have 2 goalkeepers, main goalkeepers. We do have a third choice goalkeeper obviously, but they're going to be more for training and games. When needed, more sort of training and helping with shooting in training when the goalkeepers need a rest. So we're going to have 2 goalkeepers vying for the main spot, and one of those goalkeepers will be our assigned League Cup goalkeeper, so they'll play every game in the League Cup. So even if you don't get to come through as first choice goalkeeper, there will be an option obviously to play regularly in the cup, and that will encourage us hopefully to get further in the cup as well, because that's something that, as I said, we're probably looking to push quite far into this year. So I'd say at least in the cup we want to reach at least the semi-finals of the cup, and then really push into that final, because we can be competitive. Obviously there are going to be teams from the league above that are going to be pushing us, but I think on our day we can catch them off guard, especially if they're trying to play a squad against us that is a bit reduced because they don't rate us due to us being a league below them. But I think that's something, especially with the form we showed last season, we're more than capable of at least reaching the quarterfinals anyway. And then, as I said, the other cup, I should see how far we can get in it again. It's not a priority, but everyone loves a cup run, and it's really good for all of us to enjoy that as well. So if we get an option, I'd love us to take that in both cups. But our main focus obviously is always the league itself and finishing in those promotion spots. And then obviously the League Cup after that. But as I said, if we get a cup run together, brilliant, that's perfect for all of us. So that's our aims for the season as far as competitions go. We're now going to move on to the people who are new here, the trialist mainly, about our club philosophy, more like the coaching and the team philosophy. So these are more of things that we want the environment to be going forward. So we always wanted to be competitive. That's why I'm trying to bring a few more players in. So we can get that little bit more quality, a little bit more competition for places, which should hopefully everyone rise up their level of performance. So then we can make sure everyone's on their toes, everyone's at like their peak. And every week we're getting a top performance out of everyone, because I feel like if you know you're safe in your position, you tend to lapse a little bit, and we don't want that. We want you guys to be the best that you can be for you and for us. Because obviously sometimes moves come out of this, and we're not one to step in the way if a club in the league above or a bigger club than us comes in and wants to offer you a contract and obviously a fee for you. We're here to facilitate that. We're not under any illusions. So if not, we help you to get at your best, but you guys have got to play your part too by putting in that effort. And then that is the next thing, part of the philosophy. So the first one is to be competitive and compete, whether that's within the squad itself or within the greater league against other teams. You're always competing against someone. That's just the part of the industry that we're in. The next one is to always be improving. So I want you guys to be listening to me, taking on what I'm saying to you, and the other coaches, and make sure that you're trying to implement what we're telling you, and therefore improving your game. Always trying to get that extra edge of anyone, whether it's staying after training and working on bits that you need to work on, whether that's finishing, free kicks, passing, your touch, even if it's like defending, just staying a little bit after training, getting those bits in if you need them to really push you onto that next level. Because no players become great by just going in, doing their shift and going back. They always have to put more time in. Even if that's in the gym, if you want a bit more strength and conditioning, if you want to make sure you're trying to pave over old injuries, make sure they don't return, or whether you just want to be faster and quicker, which again is a plus. Because pace in this industry is incredibly important. You're faster than other players, it scares them off the bat, they don't want to face you. So if they know that going in, that's another plus on your side. So that's the first two, which is compete and improve. We've got two more after that. The next one is to communicate, whether that be on the pitch with your teammates, making sure they know you're available, who's around them, have they got time on the ball, can they turn on the ball, do you want the ball, have they got a man on, where can they turn into space, can you tell them to turn into space, have they got space behind them, so you could say, example, you pass a ball off, you know they've got a player on their right shoulder, you can tell them to turn onto their left, go man on, turn left, or you can just go turn left when they get the ball, something along those lines, just so they know where their space is. So you're not, because obviously they should be scanning themselves, but it's a lot easier for all communicating. So it's on the pitch as well as off the pitch, because obviously as long as we're communicating strongly, I'll have no issues with any of you. As long as, so if I send you a email, a text, if I have a chat with you, I want to make sure that we're communicating effectively. Any issues you have, you can come straight to me with them, and we will deal with them how I see fit, how we need to deal with them. But if you're not communicating with me, and I'm communicating with you, or vice versa, we're not going to get anywhere. Communication is very important, whether it's on or off the pitch. So I just want to make sure that everyone, if I put a poll out in the WhatsApp, if we put an email out that needs responding to, if we send something out about a meeting and you can't make that meeting due to like you being ill or you've got a family issue that you've got to deal with, as anyone would, we just need to know that in advance. There's no point in not showing up and then us having to ask you, because that will create more issues. So we need that communication there. And the final one is, which in my philosophy as a club is the most important one, is to make sure that you enjoy it, because I believe that everyone does tasks better when they're enjoying it and they're having fun. The minute you start to play worse is when you get in your own head and you start not enjoying it. So I want you to play with that freedom that you're enjoying the game. Anything you have that you're not enjoying or anything that's causing you an issue, I said there are people you can come to. You can come to me, you can come to any of the other coaches. But the main one is to make sure, on top of everything else that we've talked about, that you're enjoying it. because the minute you stop enjoying it, it becomes a chore. And then when it becomes a chore, everything becomes harder. And we want an environment where everyone's enjoying it and you want to come in. Because as much as this is football, this is also a job for some of you. So we want to make sure that you're enjoying every minute of it. Because obviously no one wants to come into a place where they're not enjoying it or not having a good time. Because that makes it harder for you to come in and everyone else around you to sort of deal with that, and it sort of creates an atmosphere that we don't need. So that's all the sort of club and team philosophy we have going forward. Is there any questions on that from anyone? Perfect, that's great. As I said, my door's always open if you have any questions about it, so if there's anything you want to talk about later on or you don't feel comfortable asking in front of people, just come knock on my door and we'll have a little chat about it. So now that our team philosophy is over, now move us on to our playing philosophy for the season. And this is how we want to play football going forward. This is more the tactical side of the game and how I want us to set up. This is only going to be a brief overview for now, because obviously when we get into training and drills and stuff going forward, we will work on it and it will be more visually obvious to you what we want to do. But this is going to be a brief talk through of how I want us to play going forward, and it will give you an idea of how sessions are going to be structured and bits and pieces like that. So, ideally, formation-wise, we're either going to be playing a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 with that. So it's those two wingers with that number 10 in the middle there. And that depends really, going after the first few sessions of the training, what we have and what players fit where. Because I'm not going to force us to play with a number 10 if we haven't got an actual number 10 or someone who is able to play that position. It's about playing your best team, not your best players. So I'm not going to shoehorn people into positions they're not comfortable playing just for the fact of my ego. So if we're going to have wingers, we're going to have a sole striker, and then it's either going to be a flat midfield, or I say a flat midfield, more of a triangle midfield, so a holding midfield with two centre mids, or it's going to be a 2 in the pivot with 2 centre mids, and then number 10 in front, and that depends on what we've got and where we've got available at our disposal going forward. And it may also necessarily depend on who we're playing, because then obviously I may change formations to match up against other people, but ideally we're going to go with our philosophy and how we play, and we're going to try and make other teams adjust to that. I'm open to changing and varying things, obviously, because I'm not a stubborn person, and sometimes things don't work and I'm willing to change that. But we're going to go with our philosophy and see if we can just blast teams off the park with it and see how we can play. So now we've got the formation down. Let's give you a little talk about how we want to play on the ball and off the ball. So I'm a manager that focuses on off the ball first, because I believe if you're set up well off the ball, it then helps you set up the stages for the attack when you're in possession. So off the ball, we want to build a solid base of the defence. We want to make sure we're well drilled along the back and that everyone knows their job, so then that we have a solid base to build off of for our attacks. So we're going to be doing a lot of defensive position drills, a lot of cover and balance, so making sure that all the gaps will be filled if someone's moved out, making sure we move as a unit well to block off any options of the goal, and making sure that when we're out of possession we're really forcing them wide and blocking out the centre of the pitch, because then they've either got to whip across in either way to get an opportunity to score a goal, and that's a lot harder than letting them straight through the middle of the pitch, straight to the goal. So obviously as it comes across. So then the idea is that we defend compactly and really tightly as a unit, so then once we win that ball we can launch fast attacks, because you've got obviously the players here, we've got from the last season, we've got a couple of wingers who are absolutely rapid, and obviously up front we've got no slouches either, so we really want to make the use of that. So as soon as we turn that ball over is when we want to get direct and get out and try and catch them outnumbered on the break. But to do that we've all got to move as a unit. And the idea is obviously once we win that ball back to launch a devastating attack ending in a goal. So as a loose term, we just want to defend well to set us up to counter, to then hit them hard on the break. So we've got that solid defensive, a little bit boring football, mixed in with the flair and the intensity of a really quick turnover counter-attack to sort of win that ball and, again, get us up the other end as quick as we can to beat their numbers they push forward and then hopefully score a goal. So I'm hoping obviously everyone is going to buy into that this season, because I think that's going to be a really solid string as well as that's how a really good way for us to play football. So today we're just getting back into it. We're going to do a few sort of running drills with the ball, because with the ball is the best way to do it. I don't believe in drills where you're just running around in circles or like bleep tests and stuff. That's not productive. So we're going to do a few drills. One where you're going to be in a square, two of you in squares about 30-40 metres apart. You'll be passing the ball around in a rondo-like style. I will then shout, go, and the team on the right-hand side, we're going to have bibs and non-bibs. So for example, I'll shout go, the team with bibs first will then send two people out to the other square. They've got to sprint across that 30 metres, get into the opposition square, and then try and win the ball while they're passing it around the rondo. Once they have won the ball, and that's changed, we will then, as soon as they've got, then head back to their square, and then that will trigger the opposition who have just lost the ball to then go to send two other people over to win the ball back off them. And obviously why each team are attacking and or defending the opposition, trying to win the ball back, their remaining people in that square will still be passing the ball around, just keep a touch in, passing and moving, just keep yourself getting warm. And this is a bit of, I shouldn't be telling you this, but this is a bit of disguised running. So obviously you are running, but you're running with a purpose. It's not just endless running, and it's football related, it's like drill related. And then once we get the grasp of that, it will be more of a, I can shout go at either time, I'll shout go, and then bibs or non-bibs. So I could send them both over at the same time to press, so you could have both teams pressing each other at one time. And it's more about then a bit of running, and as well as listening and scanning, and because you can't send too many people out, you've got to decide in your team who's going and when they're going. You can't send three out, you've got to make sure the two that know they're going are going. So it's a little bit of everything, and obviously then you're talking, getting to know each other, so all the new people here will sort of get used to each other, know each other's names, and that's a really good starting point for all of you. And then from that, we're just going to move on to a attack versus defence drill, where the idea is the defence need to shuffle in a unit and occupy certain channels to make sure that the goal's being blocked out, and the opposition, the attacking opposition, which will be the attackers, will be trying to break that defence down and score a goal. And then once the defence win the possession, they then have to get it out wide and dribble it through two gates in the wide areas, as if we're working it out wide, because that's half of the pitch. So then that breaking through that gate will be then breaking the other half of the pitch on a counter-attack, and that's how they get their points. That will become more clear as we do it, basically, but that's the premise of what the drills will be today. And then we're going to finish it off by opening the pitch up from that drill into a full pitch game, under the same restraints, but more of a game-based thing. So we're using what we've learnt today and applying it to a full pitch game, so you can see what it looks like in a game instead of on a concentrated area, so then we can transfer it over. Does that sound good? Perfect. So if I can just have, I know there's only 2 to 3 trialists with us today, so if I can just have one of you over with me quickly, I'll have a little chat with you and just gauge where you've come from. Obviously we've been in contact a bit, but I just want to have a proper chat with you about where you come from, where you play, what your ideas are going forward. So if we can have you over first, and then we'll have a chat with I'll have a chat with one or two of you, and then we'll get the gauge of what's going on. So if you can come over while one of our other coaches here takes everyone over to start the drill, where those cones are set up over there. So obviously again, welcome to the team. Obviously there's no guarantee today that we're going to sign you, but if we like what we see, we're more than happy to offer you a contract and get you involved, because we do need players in multiple positions, mainly in the midfield and attack. So I assume you're either one of those positions as to why you're here. So you're a striker / centre forward, so similar position. Perfect. Do you have any previous experience at this sort of level of football? Okay, so you have played in an equivalent to this league in France before, but you're coming over here to try and play English football. That's perfect. We need a bit of it's nice to have a few different sort of cultures of football in, because then that gives us more experience and a bit more ways to play and a little bit more insight to other football, so there's no issue with that at all. So we're sort of looking for, as I said, someone with a bit of strength, because you're going to be a focal lone centre forward striker. So we need someone who's got a bit of strength that can hold the ball up, but is also able to get in behind, run well, and it's got a bit of pace and strength. So just someone generally quite powerful. Is that something you think you can bring to the team? Obviously, I would say goals, but that is unspoken as a striker. If you're a lead striker, a lone striker as well, you need to be scoring goals. Is that something that you back yourself to do? Because obviously we're going to need to see that today, but that's sort of what we're looking for. So we need someone who's able to, obviously technically good, hold up the ball, lay it off to your wingers, then either make a run in to support them, as well as being able to obviously hit those counters hard. So you need to be able to keep up with play, make sure that when we're getting out, you need to get out, you need to be that focal point to get the ball out to. You'll like the release. So if we win that ball defensively, there's a good chance whipping it is either comes straight, there's a good chance it comes straight at you for you to lay out wide to one of the overlapping wingers, or there's a chance that ideally, as I said, the way we're going to be playing is we're going to be hitting those wings. So you've got to be ready to, as soon as that ball hits the wings, get in behind, make those runs, either create space for your wingers or create space for yourself to receive the ball and either get another pass away or in space to get a shot. Exactly. So I'm not going to hold you for too long, because obviously we're here to see you play today, and obviously you're here to play today. So if you can just grab a bib and just join in with the drill over there, head into one of the squares, and can you just send, I can't see, but he's got a number 6 on his back. Do you mind sending him over to me? I'll have a little chat with him, and then we'll get you all back in. You'll have full numbers, and we'll really get you going. Perfect, thank you. Hi, thank you. Sorry, I could have called you over, but I thought it was easier to send you over as he's going that way. So, how are you finding that drill? Was everything okay? Obviously, it's nothing too complicated, but that's good. I'm just checking you had the grasp of it. I don't want to alienate anyone, especially as you're new with us today. So, as I was just saying with the last guy who came over, we just want to make sure you guys know what we're about, what we're looking for. I want to find out a bit about you. It's only very brief. So, obviously, I assume wearing a number 6 shirt, you're going to be a midfielder. Where in the midfield do you like to play? You full on, are you proper centre, box to box, centre mid? Are you more of like a holding midfielder? Are you shuttling across the front of the defence? Holding midfielder, that's absolutely perfect, because that's where we're sort of short. It's a bit more of a technical position, so not anyone can really just play it without having the experience. Because I said it's a bit more position based, a bit more disciplined, and a bit more defensively minded than your average centre midfielder, who obviously is defending back and forward, but it's a lot more strict. So I understand you're playing for one of the other teams in our league this year who have gone up through the playoffs. What made you come down to us from that? Because obviously you're going out to play a league up, so I just want to get the mentality of why you're coming down, or looking to take a step back down into this league. Okay, so they were going to sort of, well, you weren't getting the game time that you wanted, and obviously that's probably going to reduce going up, so you want to come back down and actually play football week in, week out. Well, that's definitely, if you impress us today, that's something we should be able to offer you, because we're very short in that position. But don't take that as we're going to sign you either way, because obviously we need to see what you're capable of on the pitch. Obviously, I'll be watching, a few of my coaches will be watching, so I'll have a little bit of a feedback session with them after, and we should be able to get back to you hopefully within a day or two. We're not going to leave you hanging too much to let you know if we're interested, if we'd like to come back down. It'll either be, realistically, it will be 3 options. Yes, we're going to go forward and get you under contract with us. Or it will be, we'd like to come back down again and see a bit more of you. Or it will be a apologetic, but a sort of straight no otherwise, if we're not impressed, because we don't want to waste anyone's time here. We don't want to waste yours, because it's not fair on you to keep bringing you back down if we know we're not 100% sure on you. But hopefully today, if I let you go back quickly in a minute, we can get you straight on the pitch again and get you guys playing and really watch you develop and see how you get on today. I said, while you're here, anything you need at all, just come and let me know. I'm always open. I'm here to talk. If you need anything, I'm here to help. That's what my job is. But if there's any questions to me, we'll get you straight back out the pitch and we can play. We're just watching you guys playing. will come in with bits and pieces, but ideally today is about you guys playing, so we don't want to interrupt you too much. Perfect, get yourself back out there, we'll be in contact, we'll have a chat with you at the end if that's good. Perfect. Right, I think if everyone agrees, obviously, I think that's probably about time to call the session. We've had a few good practices in, this game's going really well, but we're nearly the end of the session, so we can get everyone back in and just wrap it up and have a debrief. Perfect. Okay, if everyone comes back in, please. That's it, just come in, just take a knee, take a seat, we'll have a little chat and a debrief and we'll get you gone. So, thank you everyone for, again, coming today. Old players, trialists, new players. Obviously, thank you for taking time out of your day to come down here. We'll, obviously, the people that are already signed with us who have been here from last season, last few seasons, however long, we'll be back again in tomorrow, obviously, as usual. The trialist players, we will be in contact with you hopefully tomorrow. Might take an extra day than that. We're going to have a little bit of a debrief between the coaching staff, but we'll be back to you hopefully within the next 24 hours to let you know the next steps, whether it's signing you, getting you under contract, getting you in to sort that out, and then getting you integrated back in with the team again, whether we want to come and see a little bit more of you, because there's at times you might have not been able to see everything we want to see from everyone today, but we might have seen promising signs. And the worst case scenario, it will be an apologetic no from us. But obviously that doesn't mean that you're not a good player. That just means you don't fit in with our team. So don't let it dishearten you that you haven't gotten into this team. Don't let it stop you from going elsewhere, because like everyone here is a good player, but it's just not what we're looking for. So that's all we've got for you for today. So we can wrap that up right now. Everyone feel free, obviously go do a bit of recovery, stretch out, do all other bits you need to do, and we're just going to have a quick debrief between all the coaches, and as I said, we'll be back to you soon. So once again everyone, thank you for today,